course, the eviction, which took place last Friday, ended with the result that I think many of us had predicted, and that of course was Sally getting the boot. Now, vote to save didn't do anything for us, unfortunately. A lot of fans had predicted that maybe it would save the people who were entertaining, maybe that the fans would pick up the phone for those people that were causing the most controversial moments. Now, in a sense, it was a 50-50 thing. We managed to keep Bobby, which I think is a great thing, because this Sweatgate has gone through the roof now. People are disgusted by it.
Yeah, it's fairly rough, alright. We'll say that much.
What was it? He got a bit of cotton wool. He got some sweat, but was there really even? There wasn't drops of sweat in that.
Well, he was kind of dabbing it. I mean, I'm sure he got a small bit, but I think the way he was making it out and the way it was portrayed on TV, it was like it was half a litre of sweat that went in, you know? Yeah,
exactly. That's kind of why I wondered what the deal was with that. It tended to be just overlooked. It just went, you know. Again, we don't know what happened. We might have seen all that going on if we had the 24/7 access, and I'm sure some people would say, why would you want to see that transpiring? But it'd be nice to know what the real truth is behind that. But with that Sweatgate, which I think is the first gate of this series, there's got to be a few more gates to come. You might arguably say that Divagate was also a moment that was to come, and indeed we got that, but it wasn't too controversial. So I think Bobby has been the initial controversy king so far, and you know, I think Jedward as well have done some stuff, but I think Bobby going forward, getting more and more annoyed, that's what I would hope to see. I'd like to see him really get taken through the mill here.
I think he will, and I think he's the kind of guy that kind of has that time bomb mentality that, you know, if you just push him that little bit too far, he'll probably just blow up in your face. And I think, you know, in the next couple of weeks, if he does manage to stay in the house, I'm almost sure that that's going to happen with Bobby over probably anybody. Maybe somehow, some way with Darren, but I think Bobby will be the one to blow a fuse for sure.
Absolutely. We had Sally, Bobby and Kerry up for eviction. I found Kerry to be very, very dull, and I read an article, I think it was it Kevin Sullivan in the paper, I think the Mirror, one of those. He has a Big Brother column, and he talked about how, isn't it crazy how we've discovered how boring Kerry is? You know, you've seen her on the highlights, and effectively she just sits around and she says the odd thing, but she's hardly the big part of it that perhaps we might have thought. I'm sure as well that she probably got the biggest pay packet. I mean, out of all of those people, really she's probably the most current in terms of being in tabloids and having her own show and all of that. So it's been a disappointment actually, because I don't even think Kerry would actually blow up. You know, I think she's kind of almost in a sense grown up from the kind of wild character that was portrayed in the press, but would she actually full on argue with a Bobby, you know?
I'd say she'd probably play it safe to try keep what's left of her, I suppose, I won't say celeb status, because it's not like it's in the best of shape or ever has been over the years, but what she's left of it, I suppose, intact. Yeah, I agree with that. I think, you know, I think she just kind of got it. I know I said this, I don't really want to say, but she kind of got lucky in a way, and I mean, she's been in the press for bad things more so, which has subsequently led most people to find out who she is, and everybody seems to know who she is, and she's become a household name for her own fault. So in that sense, it's not like she had really anything to give ever. It's just she's ended up in the celebrity wing of those people for those reasons, and you know, unless you were a huge Atomic Kitten fan or whatever, I don't think there's any other appeal with her, unfortunately.
What I'm very interested to see coming up when Kerry is evicted now. I'm presuming she's probably maybe going to make the final. You know, if they've paid that extra dollar value to get someone in, they might try their very, very best to protect her. And of course they have more opportunity now than ever without a live feed to actually protect someone. I mean, you could actually guide someone through right to the end, you know, get all their worst moments out, and we've nothing to hate them for.
Yeah, I don't want to bash her down either, though. You know, I mean, you can, you know, call them out and you can shoot them down until the cows come home. I'm sure she's genuinely okay, but as far as an interesting housemate goes, that has a lot to offer. I think there's a lot better in the house, and there has been a lot better in the past, and I'm sure there'll be a lot better in the future. So for that reason, I will agree that yeah, I think her going would have been a hell of a lot better than Sally. I think Sally had a hell of a lot more to offer. I think underneath it all, even though she comes from the background, she does, Sally that is, that she was pretty cool. She was pretty rock and roll for a PM's wife, you know.
It's funny what you say there, you know, not wanting to shoot on Kerry, not wanting to give out about her. I certainly know what you're saying, because it's very, very easy to watch a show like this and to kind of pick out all the faults with the people that are on there. Of course, in some ways, they put themselves in that target line, don't they? As we do here. I mean, we're at the mercy of our commenters. Anybody who wants to say anything really can. But, you know, with someone like Kerry, again, yeah, she's not a hateable character. She's not somebody you could actually detest for what we've seen, at least on the screen. But I suppose people are maybe somewhat used to commenting on her because of that celebrity status, that celebrity limelight that's put on her. But also, I mean, I watched Bit on the Side, and of course we did have a lot of conversation about Bit on the Side the last day. But you know, Bit on the Side, rather like Big Mouth, is set up to be a complete and utter, you know, let's disparage, let's comment on these people, and there's people saying whatever the hell they want, and even at times the presenters are not unbiased. And I've noticed that a bit, like they'll say what they want. So I suppose in one sense they kind of feed that to us, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
I totally get what you're saying, you know, and I certainly
it's easy,
don't want to...
It's easy to do it. I want to avoid it happening here for the most part, because, you know, people will have their favourites, I think, between us, between people in the chat room, between people who might watch this on YouTube, or people who watch Big Brother in general. And I don't want to step on anyone's shoes by putting any housemates down, even if they do have faults. But again, I suppose that's what this is about in a way, so maybe apologies in advance if we're nailing your favourite housemates.
We are biting back, if you like, and indeed that's what we like to do here, as our viewers seem to be going up. So I think people have found us here tonight. Thank you for joining us. We are now officially on justin.tv/Big Brother Bites Back. That's our live channel. To see this replayed, livestream.com/Big Brother Bites Back. We'll tell you all of those addresses again before we go away tonight. So we were talking the eviction. Sally is gone, a big loss to the show. We said it last Thursday. This is somebody who is willing to just turn around to Pamela and go, that was disgusting, you know, that meal is rotten, and I can see her potentially getting some paper deals out of this, but then possibly just disappearing off into the sunset again, maybe with that This Morning appearance as well. You know, I mean, that's always a part of the bargain, I think.
It's always the tough position to be in, the first housemate to leave the house. I'm sure she was well, she was gutted for sure, and I'm sure that she would have loved to stay in, like anyone would have, being the first evictee. But the thing with Sally, as much as I would have liked to see her stay in, I did think, you know, we did say that was a little bit on the rude side with that whole situation with Pamela and the food. I'm not going to bang on about it, but, you know, you kind of saw other sides that maybe, that's again coming back to live feed, it's just so hard to tell who is who and what we are seeing and what we're not seeing, and why, you know, Kerry would have called her out so early. I'm sure there are probably more reasons than we even know about, you know, which is just unfortunate that we can't discuss them at this stage.
Absolutely. Now, of course, you can Skype us, add the user Big Brother Bites Back. Skype is open for the entire night. We can take your calls in video, or just audio. As you can see there, that is our live channel. You might not be able to read the comments on the stream, but without a doubt on the recorded YouTube videos it's a little bit higher quality, so you can check out there, and all your comments will indeed be available to read, and very interesting comments they are for sure. Flamey is joining us and saying it isn't Big Brother without the live feed, it's a sham. DCB TV says the founder of BB Live UK, and I have tweeted you out and you're featured on our site, so thanks very much for that. We appreciate any support, any postings, because as we've discovered it's quite tricky really to get the word out about something like this that's new.
Yeah, well, in fairness, everybody who was here on Thursday night, you know, many thanks to everybody who retweeted the live link and to put us over across the board with all your peeps. We do appreciate that big time. So luckily we did get a lot of viewers in, so much so that things became overcapacitated, unfortunately. That's why we did move from live stream to Justin.tv, as we said earlier. So going forward, every Sunday, fingers crossed, this will be our home, and we would like to see you come back throughout the rest of the season and going into BB12.